thing up here. Let me share it over, okay? Yep. Yep. Hang on. Today, it's a sad day. Well, a great day. Because today, we're celebrating the 80th anniversary of D-Day. It's also sad because some people ain't coming home. Battle of Normandy. General Dwight D. Eisenhower was the first U.S. Supreme Allied Commander of the U.S. of the Allied Expeditionary Force for World War II. I'm going to bring up a speech here, okay? Just hang on a second. It's in honor of General Eisenhower.
Force. You are about to embark soldiers, sailors, and airmen of the Allied Expeditionary Force. You are about to embark upon the great crusade toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms,
The pictures you see here are some of the people who didn't make it home. Let's have a moment of silence. Thank you.
on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny over the oppressed people.
Here are some pictures of the military of D-Day. Okay. Let me bring back in the other thing here. And I can put it right here. Preparation for D-Day. Actually, hang on here. Here's the planning speech.
The Allied planning for the invasion of France was a protracted, laborious affair. Since being driven from Dunkirk in 1940, the British were determined to return to the continent. But the failed raid at Dieppe in 1942 demonstrated just how costly a large-scale amphibious operation across the English Channel might be. Despite the losses in this raid, Allied leaders moved ahead. Their plan for one of the...
Hang on, let me get the Okay, what they're talking about here is right here is, I believe, where they all landed. Here is Cherrybug and all these things right here. That's the Germans. So you guys can see better. Okay.
But the failed raid at Dieppe in 1942 demonstrated just how costly a large-scale amphibious operation across the English Channel might be.
This unit right here, actually, better yet, let me bring it up. Here it is. Man. The 1st Infantry Division is a combat arms division of the U.S. Army and is the oldest continuously serving division in the regular Army. It served in World War I. There are some of the images of the Big Red One during World War I. World War II, Headquarters 1st Infantry Division had the 16th Infantry, 18th, 26th are still both. And then there is Normandy. If any of you remember, it was also in the Korean War. Cold War, Korean, Vietnam. Still in use today. Those are current military. But back to the plan.
Despite the losses in this raid, Allied leaders moved ahead. Their plan for one of the most ambitious and complex invasions in history continued to evolve until D-Day.
The planning of D-Day is absolutely a multi-domain operation. Now, you have a maritime aspect, you have the air fight, and obviously you have the ground fight. You have information operations, you have deception operations. I mean, D-Day is a classic example of multi-domain operations.
Prime Minister Winston Churchill famously contended that
That was Prime Minister Winston Churchill.
there is only one thing worse than fighting with allies, and that is fighting without them. In early 1942, the US and British solidified their coalition by establishing a combined Chiefs of Staff. From the beginning, the Anglo-American alliance had competing strategies for defeating Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
The British urged a long-term, peripheral approach, while their American counterparts insisted on a direct drive to the German homeland. The British and US staffs also conceptualized the role of the Supreme Allied Commander differently. Based on their flat, joint command, the British wanted more of a committee approach that empowered the leaders under the Supreme Allied Commander. The Americans argued such a structure would hurt the unity of command. Even though it had not been decided who would lead the invasion, Lieutenant General Frederick Morgan, a British officer, was appointed as the Chief of Staff to the Supreme Allied Commander. Known as Cossack, Morgan and his American deputy, Major General Ray Barker, started working on an invasion plan without knowing who would lead the operation. Headquartered in London, Cossack laid the foundation for what would become the Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force, or SHAEF.
I think that's
General Ray Barker started working on an invasion plan without knowing who would lead the operation. Headquartered in London, Cossack laid the foundation for what would become the Supreme Headquarters Allied.
Oh yeah. It was in Afghanistan, Iraq, and many more. But I'll show you what now. Right here. It was part of World War II and Supreme Allied Commando Europe and Atlantic. It was General Dwight D. Eisenhower, Omar Bradley, Admiral Ramsey, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Arthur Tedder, and General Bomber Montgomery, and somebody else. Some of the staffing. He's the current holder.
Allied Expeditionary Force, or SHAEF. A successful cross-channel attack was imperative for the selecting the most capable commanders was critical. Early on, President Franklin D. Roosevelt thought that the position should be held by a British officer because U.S. troop levels were initially too low to spearhead the invasion. As U.S. mobilization accelerated,
Well,
Roosevelt
that
and
dude.
Churchill agreed that an American should command. Roosevelt considered his chief of staff, General George C. Marshall, for the position, but ultimately deemed his role stateside too important. In early December 1943, Roosevelt designated General Dwight D. Eisenhower as the supreme commander of the Allied Expeditionary Forces. Air Chief Marshal Sir Arthur Tedder, a British officer, would serve as his deputy. As they prepared for one of the largest multi-domain operations in history, planners examined intelligence reports and sustainment options as part of their decision process. Today, we call these processes the Military Decision-Making Process, MDMP, the Intelligence Preparation of the Battlefield, IPB, and the Sustainment Preparation of the Operational Environment.
The intelligence preparation of the battlefield, the military decision-making process, and the sustainment preparation of the operational environment, they're all together. You can't have one without the other. MDMP, the military decision-making process, that is the overarching, that's where everything comes together. But intelligence preparation of the battlefield with the intel folks, the sustainment preparation of the operational environment with the sustainment and log folks, they're all kind of doing their things to feed into the military decision-making process.
Intelligence preparation of the battlefield is a systematic process of analyzing the mission variables of the enemy, terrain, weather, and civil considerations in an area of interest to determine their effect on operations. IPB allows commanders and staffs to make a holistic approach to analyzing the operational environment. IPB serves as the initial framework for analysis of the battlefield in all operations. There are 4 steps of IPB. Step 1, define the operational environment. Step 2, describe the environmental effects on operations. Step 3, evaluate the threat. And Step 4, determine threat courses of action.
Sustainment preparation of the operational environment.
Yeah, and then before we continue, preparation. 1940, German leader Adolf Hitler called the most famous victory in history the fall of France. British craft evacuated England, 338 Allied troops trapped along the northern coast of France. And then in 1944, the invasion of Sicily. In July 1943, the invading Italy in September. These campaigns provided the troops with valuable experience in ambushing warfare. As you can see here, the M4 Sherman tank was loaded. Omaha was the most deadly, the most bloodiest of them all because of one thing: the Germans. Here is the tactical recon aerial photo. As you can see, this is the They started from over here and ended here. Okay, this is the rehearsal and security. July 1943, as the nearby beach resembled the planning Normandy landing site. The town of Slapton in Devon was um, evacuated in December 1943 and taken over by the forces as a site training, including the use of landing craft such and such, friendly fire indicating there on the 27th of April 1944, resulted in as many as 450 deaths following days such and such. Allied planners landing from the locations, okay, then the weather planning. The invasion planners specify a set condition regarding the timing of the invasion, deeming only a few days in each month suitable. A full moon was desirable as it would provide illumination for aircraft pilots and have the highest tide. The Allies wanted to schedule the landing for shortly before dawn, midway between the low and high tide. Would be improved visibility. Even of the evening of the 4th of June, Allied meteorologists, headed by Group Captain James Steger of the Royal Air Force, proceeded to the weather would improve, so the invasion could go ahead on June 6th. He met Eisenhower and other senior commanders at the Allied headquarters at South, as you guys can see. Here's the Atlantic Wall. Hey folks, I'm back. Hopefully that was a brief overview. I'm gonna do this next year, okay? just scheduling this again next year. Okay. Yeah, got it scheduled. What else? Make sure you, hey fans, I may come live later, with another one. Okay? Peace.